Squad, welcome back to the channel. It's been quite a while since I had a Fresh 5 news video for you guys because I've been out of town for 10 days. I went to LA, hung out with my boy J-Chain, the rest of the Satoshi droppers, took the crypto bit bus up to the San Francisco Bitcoin 2019 conference until Wednesday. Gonna have some Beards and Bitcoins content out for you guys definitely in the coming days. And then I flew out to Las Vegas for the World Series of Poker. So I was playing out there. I did not cash in the ring event, but I did win a nightly WSOP event. So it was definitely cool to go out to Las Vegas for the first time. I used to kind of travel with the WSOP circuit, if you know anything about that, but this is my first time actually playing in Vegas, and I got a good cash, so pretty excited about it. And not only that, but one event I was playing in, one of the Bit Squad members recognized me and came up and talked to me, so that was definitely a very cool moment to be able to meet somebody from the community that saw me and recognized me and things like that. So, you know, most famous collector at a Beanie Baby conference. That's what I say being a crypto influencer is like. But, you know, if you guys ever do see me in public, come talk to me. I definitely want to talk to you guys and meet you guys. It's an honor for me to meet you. So, yeah, so I took a few days. I've really been recharging. Honestly, the last week-ish, I haven't even really been looking at crypto that much. I think it's important to take a break sometimes. And so that's what I did. I'm back for you guys now with another news video. We got a lot of very interesting stories going on. But I do want to mention we are going to do our giveaway, our last 2-month giveaway. The live stream will be on the 4th of July. Because why? Because freedom. Because I can give it away. So on 4th of July, we will be having a live stream where we will be talking about, or we'll be doing the contest where I'm going to give away 50,000 IOST and 3 ledgers. So definitely stay tuned for that. So today in the news, we got, of course, our IOST break. We'll be talking about some updates that IOST has had lately. We'll also be talking about a Ripple team member moving over to Binance and what maybe that means for American customers. A crazy crypto scam that is working and seems to be working well in the effects it's had on the state of Florida, or one specific city in Florida, and then it's actually influenced a lot of other places as well. We're also going to be giving an institutional update looking at ErisX. We're going to be looking at Facebook aiming to destroy banks and why some people think it's possible. Meanwhile, Google is waiting in the weeds when it comes to crypto. Watch out for those guys. They're sneaky. And of course, the big question everyone wants to know, will the Bitcoin downtrend continue? And we will look at that at the end of the video. So if you want to know if it's a good time to buy or sell Bitcoin, make sure that you wait for the last segment. But for now, let's jump in the markets. Market Watch. Okay, guys, so right now the market is coming in at 310.4 billion. We have Bitcoin at 10.7K. Now, it did recently drop below 10,000, which honestly I didn't think that we would see, but it is good to see it get a new bounce. The days of Bitcoin being below 10,000 are, if they're not over now, they're coming to an end very, very, very soon. So here we are, we've got Ethereum at 289, XRP at about 40 cents. What we've seen with a lot of the altcoins is they've been holding their US dollar value, even though they haven't been holding their value against Bitcoin, which also I believe will be ending at some point. Can't necessarily say soon, but relatively soon anyways. Biggest gainer of the day, IHT Real Estate. No idea what this is. It has gotten a 158% pump, but then we look at Walton Chain with a huge pump today. 35%, REN 33% gains. Look, notice we're starting to get some altcoins with some above 20% pumps, which is definitely good, and some decently reputable ones as well. Tezos with 11.51% gains, and V-System, biggest losers of the day. Basic Attention Token, BitTorrent, Aurora, Verge, and Stratus, all down between about 5 and 8%. It's time for the Fresh 5 top news stories of the day, starting with number 5. You know, one thing that really surprised me while I was on my trip and playing a lot of poker and talking to a lot of people about crypto, and even though I don't feel like this should surprise me, it still continually does. So many people are walking around with blinders on. They don't see what's happening. We just had TD Ameritrade backed ErisX get the green light from the CFTC to settle futures in Bitcoin. Now, if you don't know much about futures, you're basically betting on the price of an asset being a certain price by a certain date. That's the long and the short of it. No pun intended there. But ErisX is going to be an institutional way to, to do derivatives trading and things like that. And they're going to actually be settling these in physical Bitcoins. Now, a lot of futures contracts, it's basically paper money. You can kind of think of it like monopoly money almost. And the recent futures contracts that we had going back to 2017, which a lot of people think tanked the Bitcoin price, those were settled in US dollars and not in Bitcoin. So there was no incentive for people to own Bitcoin or to actually have physical Bitcoins, to be able to settle these transactions. So this is different. This is going to be settled in Bitcoin. So the people that are doing these contracts are actually going to own Bitcoin, which is going to help the price of Bitcoin, in my opinion. So, definitely a lot of people think the paper Bitcoins that we had in 2017, late 2017, 2018, tanked the market. It's good to see ErisX getting the green light from the CFTC to settle physical Bitcoins. I think this is going to be really huge news. Number 4. This is a very interesting story, guys. Coming from Florida, Lake City is the city where this happened. Now, when you read the title of the article, Florida City fires IT employee after paying 460,000 Bitcoin ransom to hackers, you get the idea. Almost from the title, it's a little misleading. It seems like it's like because he paid the ransom, he got fired, but that's not actually true. The city met and decided that it was better to pay the ransom. It would cost them less than basically untangling what had happened. So basically through a Trojan virus, a hacker was able to take total control of Lake City's computers, and only 3 to 5% of these Trojan viruses are able to get fixed. So they paid the ransom, $460,000. $450,000 of that came from an insurance that the city had. Now, this is not good. Why? You may be asking, why is this not good? Obviously, there's tons of reasons why this is a bad situation, but this only encourages people to do these kinds of things. When they know they're going to get paid off, and now they know like maybe $450,000 is like the insurance threshold, I think we're going to be seeing a lot more of this. It happened in my hometown of Atlanta. The city was taken over last year in something called Good Samaritan. I think it's called the Good Samaritan hack or something like that. We've seen it in Kansas City. Some hospitals were taken over like this. But the Florida City did fire the IT guy because they basically said that there weren't enough security checks in place to make sure that wasn't going to happen. It all started with someone downloading an attachment. And this just proves my point all the time, even more. Don't use PCs. People say Macs can get viruses. I've never had one on a Mac. I guarantee these were PCs. PCs, in my opinion, they're just too vulnerable. And if you use an antivirus software, a lot of times those antivirus softwares, they seem like viruses themselves because they take over your computer. So, I'm a Mac guy. I stick to that, and I've never been hacked or never had a virus or anything like that. Number 3. Former Ripple executive Catherine Coley is going to be leading Binance's US expansion as new exchange CEO. So Binance is currently working with their partner BAM Trading Services in San Francisco to help them create this. They've now named Catherine Coley from Ripple as the CEO. Now, a lot of people don't like XRP. They don't like Ripple, obviously. But one thing you can say is Ripple knows what it's doing. Even in spite of the fact that most people in crypto do not believe that it's decentralized, don't believe it's good for the overall crypto landscape, they still have managed to make an incredible business model, and it continues to be the number 3 cryptocurrency. So, from a business perspective, you probably can't argue with this move. CZ had something to say about this. He said, "I am confident with Coley's leadership and Binance's leading technology platform. Binance.US will be able to provide valuable services to the US community." I do want to put a quick plug for my friend Jason Appleton's exchange, Crypto Crows, it's called Crow's Nest X. That's Crow's Nest EX. That's going to be a new US exchange as well. A lot of people have been asking me, if you have money on Binance and you want to move it off due to what they're talking about, banning US customers and things like that, what's a good exchange? I definitely suggest checking out Crow's Nest X. I think it's going to be an exchange that's going to be totally compliant. But of course, Binance's American exchange also will be compliant and things like that. Just not sure when that is going to be able to launch. And Crow's Nest X launches next month. Actually, no, that's wrong. It's July. It launches this month. Number 2. All right, guys, so will Facebook destroy banks? That is the question everyone is asking. So Facebook's Libra will benefit Bitcoin but destroy banks, says industry. So we've had a couple people see this, but as you can see in the picture there, that is the CEO of BitMEX, Arthur Hayes. And he basically says, I think it will destroy commercial and central banks. So you can see it right here. So it's definitely very interesting, in my opinion, that we have some of the thought leaders in, cryptocurrency saying this, and I really kind of line up with that. I do believe that there's a chance that Facebook's Libra coin becomes, a currency that a lot of people use, not for investments, but use functionally for digital currency. So while Facebook is trying to destroy banks, we have Google. What are they doing? We don't really know yet. We do know they have a blockchain department, but is Google chasing the 90% of blockchain, or 90% potential of blockchain that Facebook left out? Well, basically, what this is saying is that Facebook is only going after the currency side. They're trying to destroy the banks, but they're not doing anything utility-wise. We do know that Google recently has a loose partnership with Chainlink. Chainlink is a project that's been doing very well in the bear market, and even in the beginning of this bull market, it's continuing to pump. Had a big pullback the last couple days, but Google, I think, has a master plan. I don't know what it is yet. It's in Silicon Valley. They've got all the blockchain companies around them, and I think they're just really playing chess right now. I think they're laying back, they're laying in the weeds. They're trying to figure out exactly what direction they want to take. And, I'm sure they probably had some talks with Facebook. I'm sure they've had some kind of, connection where they've talked about the future of where these two companies are going with blockchain and crypto. But one thing is for sure, Google is not going to be sitting on the sidelines. I do believe a good option for Google would be to create something similar to, basic attention token for their, for the Chrome browser. However, of course, it would be centralized and, the thing about Google and Facebook is they have such bad names and reputations when it comes to privacy, which goes definitely against crypto. But I do think they would have the potential to do something like that. Also to create a coin, and it could kind of, duel. And if this happens, just know they stole it from me. For their ad network. So for Google AdWords and AdSense, that's how people on YouTube get paid, is through AdSense. They may have something in the works to create some kind of coin for that ecosystem. Wouldn't surprise me at all. But Google is definitely, they're waiting for the right time. I do believe they will be making an announcement by the end of this year for something they're going to do in crypto that's going to be huge. Just don't know what it is yet. Hold up, it's time for an IOST break. Okay guys, we have our IOST bi-weekly report. As you guys know, quarter number 2 is over. We're starting quarter 3. It's a great time to vote for my node. I do believe I will be a tier 1 content creator, for quarter 2. After I put my report in, I definitely believe, we'll stay tier 1 for a long time. I certainly hope. Here's a look at the community. We got 78 million transactions, 327.5 thousand mainnet accounts, which is definitely pretty cool. Here's some of their, social media statistics. But this is what I wanted to show you guys. I thought this was pretty cool, talking about the development of the ecosystem. So then this goes along with Facebook coin, Libra coin, as we were just talking about. World's first online IDE supporting Libra now launched, connecting Facebook and IOST. So developed by White Matrix, which is an IOST partner node, Chain-IDE becomes the first online IDE supporting Move. Now, if you don't know what Move is the new programming language of the Libra coin blockchain. So like Ethereum has Solidity, some use C+. There's all kinds of different languages that different, programs use or different blockchains use. This one is using Move. That is what Libra coin is making. So the programming language utilized by Libra, it enables developers to efficiently utilize this new language. IOST's online IDE can support Ethereum Solidity and Libra's Move, meaning that data, assets, and other information among the 3 chains can better exchange. And this is going to basically be able to link IOST now to 2.7 billion Facebook users. So big news all the way around. We got a lot of different updates as well. Some new dApps that have launched. IOST Crypto War, a lot of people were waiting for that. IOST Vegas, same thing. IOST 2048, it's like a math game. And some other games and things like that. So I don't know if you guys remember, we were going to play Horse Saga, but the Android phone I got was so terrible, we can't play it. So hopefully it'll be out for Mac or iOS soon, and we can check it out there. I know you guys really want to race them ponies. The number 1 crypto story of the day. All right, guys. So while it was gone, I told you guys, every time I go out of town, the price, whoop. And guess what it did? I went out of town, price, whoop. So we went all the way up to almost 14,000. The Bitcoin price is now dropped under 10,000 slightly, like I mentioned in the beginning of the video. It lost its grip on the $11,000 price mark. And the question is is this going to continue? So we got some kind of, different ways of thinking about this. Right now, there is a parabola on a kind of, long range chart over the last 6 months, and Bitcoin has hit, has basically broken out of that. So here is the chart. Now keep in mind, I don't do TA. I'm just doing this off of articles and things that I've read. So, if I say something wrong TA wise, don't hold it against me. I'm not trying to do TA. So just kind of look at the chart here. We can see we had a big rise and now we've fallen. Now, this is the parabola that they were talking about. And basically they're saying that this means the price could go all the way to 4,700. I don't believe it for a second. So if we zoom in here and you can look, you can see that over the last 6 months, this parabola here has held and now we've dipped below that. If we come over here and we look at the, monthly, we're actually up. So we were definitely up for June. However, the weekly is not a good sign. So this here we're looking at for the monthly close, we're looking at a shooting star pattern, which is typically a sign of bearish reversal. We definitely hate seeing this giant wick though. That's definitely unfortunate. But the monthly looks good, the weekly looks bad. So kind of looking at the long-term outlook of Bitcoin, we're going anywhere, in my opinion, from, down maybe in the 9s, anywhere to up in the high teens over the next few months. A lot of people have said that once we hit 10,000, we were gonna go way up. Now, I remember reporting on a story where we talked about once it hit 10,000, it could go to 12,000 really quick, and then it was gonna have a hard time going above that. And that's kind of what we saw. I mean, it went up to 13.8 and has dropped back down. It feels like 12 is that new number. I think we'll get close to 12, maybe by the end of this week, maybe next week. I think it will be coming soon. We will test 12 again. For me personally, I believe the number is 20,000. I think once we get back to all-time highs, that's when we will see the true FOMO. And, one interesting thing to look back over the last week, we did have the Bitcoin 2019 conference, one of the biggest Bitcoin conferences, at least in terms of having, some of the very high level Bitcoin investors, Bitcoin speakers, Bitcoin developers. It was a collection of a lot of people that have a lot of money invested in Bitcoin through mining, or whether they invested, capital or whatever the case may be. And I don't know, guys, like, we've seen it with Ripple, we've seen it with Tron. When they have their conferences, the price spikes. Is it possible that the Bitcoin 2019 conference did play a role in the price of Bitcoin pumping? You have to say the timing's very coincidental at best. So we did see right during the big pump, we were during the conference, a lot of excitement. It was definitely cool being there while that was going on. So I don't know if that's the case and that did play a role, then expect Bitcoin to kind of level out here for a while, maybe for the next month or so. I know for me personally, I'm not stressing one way or the other. I'm not panicking. I do believe that by the end of this year, we will be at all-time highs. That's what we're shooting for. Maybe by the end of the summer, we will already be there as a good possibility. So, if you're asking me, is it a good time to invest in Bitcoin? It's always a good time to invest in Bitcoin, in my opinion. So, once we get up to all-time highs and we start really shooting up, you don't want to put all your money in. But, I do believe eventually in $1 million Bitcoin. I do think that'll happen. So until we get there, in my opinion, still a good investment. Not financial advice, just my personal opinion. Gotta say that. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Glad to be back, getting back to some content. I've got some ideas for some new videos I want to do. I want to get back to doing more videos, not just our Fresh 5 every day. So definitely be on the lookout for those. Maybe 2 to 3 extra videos a week, along with some sponsored content here or there. As you guys know, I'm getting a lot more requests for sponsored content on the channel, but we obviously will always keep our Fresh 5 every day, no matter what. Have maybe a couple of those a week, something like that. So big shout out to the Bit Squad. Thank you so much for watching this video. Hope you enjoyed it. BitBoy out.